Hello, hello, my peeps. So I had a question today about how I always say you can't be less of a god. So let's go there. Think of an actor, like a really serious method actor, like Val Kilmer or something, somebody who would thoroughly throw themselves into that particular character they're playing for months, for as long as the filming is going on. Even like when the filming's over for the day and they get to go home, they still continue to play that person. They act as if they are still that person. They may talk in the same accent or wear the same clothes or whatever, but they thoroughly submerge themselves into that person. Even though they're thoroughly submerging themselves into that person, he's still Val Kilmer underneath, right? He still identifies as Val Kilmer. He doesn't identify as, he may be playing that he's identifying as the character, but he's still viewing himself playing that character from the version of Val Kilmer. And this is you are, and this is really powerful, because I want you to see this. Whenever I say you're the god of this reality, or, and I'll use myself as the example, Kristen. Am I viewing myself as Kristen from the god, or am I viewing playing the god from the version of Kristen? Ooh, that's really powerful, because the answer is obvious, but maybe it flies in the face of your humbling sensibilities. Who am I to say I, Kristen, am God? Because guys, the answer was the latter. The answer is, I'm talking about being God from being Kristen. Right? It's simple. It's obvious. There's nothing hidden there. So does that mean Kristen is God? Yes. And you are too. You are the God of your reality, because you are observing everything you do, everything you play in, everything you believe in, even though your beliefs constantly shift around, from you. Okay, now I have said this 1,000 billion trillion times in all my videos, so we don't need to go there anymore. But let's play. Let's play in the understanding that no matter what Val Kilmer is playing at, no matter what character he's getting deeply, deeply entrenched in, he can't be less Val Kilmer. Right? Never and at any time is he going to stop being himself behind the facade, behind the character he's playing. He is always, always, always going to be Val Kilmer, and he can't be any less Val Kilmer. And this is what I mean. No matter what type of manifestation you're playing with, no matter what type of beliefs you're playing with, no matter which way you're going, left or right or up or down or whatever, you can't be less you, who is the God of this reality. So whether you're identifying as the God or you're identifying simply as you, it's about whichever is easier, guys. It's always about whichever is easier. And I know the answer to that. The easiest is you. Say your name. Say whatever name it is you are identifying with right now. Say that name. Now that is the name of the God of this, your reality. Your name, my name, Kristen, is the name of the God of this reality. Wow. Kind of be with that for a minute. That's deep. And that's big. And you can continue to play the role of smaller than the things going on in this reality. You can continue to play that character, but behind that character is still you, the you that all of this arose from, the you that all your memories and your ideas and your beliefs and everything arose from. And when you walk down the hallway that's around the corner that you can't see right now, it poofs and comes into reality because you expected it. You are the God. And it doesn't matter what mood you're in. It doesn't matter if you're vibrating desperation or vibrating absolute joy. That hallway is still going to show up for you because you knew it was there. And this is what I mean when I say you can't be less of a God. Right now, wherever you're sitting, I'm assuming you can't see your kitchen. Just because I can't. But is there any part of you that doubts your kitchen is going to be there? Is there any tiny, I mean, kind of feel around, find, is there any doubt? No, zero, zip, zilch. There is no, when we talk about your kitchen and playing with doubt, the two don't come together. They don't gel. There's just no, while you could play in that role, you could take on a person who's doubting their kitchen is there. That's really not who you are, right? That's just not going to happen. When you're done playing with this video and stuff and you get up and you go in your kitchen, that doubt, that play, that just isn't, it's just not there. It's like oil and water. It's just not there. You walking into your kitchen and a person who's doubting the existence of the kitchen, that's, the two just aren't, no, not going to happen. And that's what I mean by you can't be less of a God. There is this part of you that just knows these things, right? It just knows these things. And when you're playing with, oh, in order for me to vibrate, I have to do this, or vibrate right. Or in order for me to manifest properly, I have to do that. I have to do these things. I have to do that thing. Those are perfectly fine places to play in. But I will guarantee that there is a part of you that is doubting it. There's a part of you going, that's fun and exciting to think about, but I can manifest like a motherfucker from any mode, like I just showed you with the whole hallway situation. I had a friend the other day that was saying you can't manifest from desperation. And I'm like, well, desperation is a manifestation. So obviously you can. But an easier understanding of that is, have you ever been in a space where you've got to go to the bathroom really, really, really bad? And maybe you're in your car driving and you're like, oh my God, I need a bathroom, and I need a bathroom now, right here, right now. Now, in that moment, that isn't just pure desperation. There's panic. There's all sorts of very low vibrating energies there. And don't you always manifest a bathroom? You know, it might be all the way to the very, very moment, but you still manifested a bathroom, maybe a gas station showed up or whatever. Maybe you're driving down the freeway and you're way over in the left lanes and the exit's over there on the right. And you're like, oh shit. And you just happen to be able to get over to that exit, and you just happen to be able to get to that. Or if you miss that exit, you find another one. Regardless, don't you always still find a bathroom? Don't you always still manifest a bathroom, even though you were in an absolute state of just pure desperation? Yes. See? So guys, when it comes down to this is the way you have to do it, no, because there are plenty of times where you're not in that mindset or that state, the perfect state to manifest the perfect this or that. You're fine. You can't play that game right there and then. You just got to find a bathroom. I don't have time right now to get into the state of me finding the perfect bathroom or anything. I just got to find a bathroom. I don't have time to talk about that right now. See? And while you can sit here and analyze the situation and said, well, you manifested a bathroom because you were in whatever. You can play that game. Yes, till the cows motherfucking come home. But it really comes down to this, guys. You are bigger than it all. You are bigger than it all. At all times, in all moments, you are bigger than every single one of these coaching ideas, these manifestation ideas, these methods, these beliefs. All you are bigger than it all, because it all arose from within you. So while it is, I still have methods I love to do. I still have, when I get in my car, that is my meditation place. I love just the most wonderful things to talk about and play in and discuss arise when I'm in my car. And there are times where I feel like, oh my God, this is the answer to the universe. And it definitely is in that moment, in that state. But the minute I shift states to another version of myself, another action or whatever, maybe it's absent-minded, maybe it's focused, whatever, the manifestation technique for that state is going to shift. It's going to be different. And so isn't that powerful? You have all these personas, you have all these states of mind, states of being. We all do. And with each of these different states of being is a different manifestation technique, even though bottom line, there is no technique, but you definitely can play there. Just like you can play in when I'm writing letters to family members, I only use these kind of fonts. This is the font that works best. And if I'm writing letters to business associations, this is the font I'm using best. And if you're going to do advertising, this is the most eye-catching, popping font to use. See, you have, with each state, there's a different font to use. And so with each state of being, there's a different manifestation technique to use if you want. But as the God of this reality, you get to shift. You get to say, no, I don't want to use that font anymore. That font's old. Let's use a new one. And this is why there's new techniques and new ways of doing things that arise all the time, even though you may have your absolute favorite. So I have friends that, are just, they have their way of teaching about manifestation. Maybe it's law of attraction, maybe it's law of assumption, maybe it's non-duality, whatever. They have their way and they are pros at it. They are absolute professional. They know that technique inside and out. They know the history, they know the nuances. They have the perfect answers at every time for each of those. But maybe you're finding for yourself, you're all over the place. You're like, oh my God, some days I love law of attraction. Some days I love law of assumption. Some days I just love Kristen's carefree. There is no title. You are the God. Just stick with that. Maybe you see that you just can't nail one of them down. And that's because you are the God of this reality and you created those people. You created this best friend that is an absolute pro at law of attraction and the ideal person to go to when you're in a certain state. But see, it's kind of like this. These people are representations of states. They are just, whether it's your best friend or your mother or your daughter or whomever, every single one of these people are representations of certain states. And you have them in your mind. And some of these people might be multiple states. Some of these people, you might not even have a name for the state. You just have their name. It's the Jane state or it's the Thomas state. Because you think of these people, and when you think of these people, you automatically assign a certain state to them: successful, non-successful, famous, not famous, whatever, mother, father, whatever. You have all these states you assign to them, and they take on the persona of those states for you. And so they take on the solidity of that state. But see, you are the creator of these states, and that's why you don't have solidity. You are the embodiment of all states, of all techniques. And so when you think about yourself, it's like, I can't figure out who I am. No, because you are all states. So in some moments you get to be the mother. I'm talking about myself. Some moments you get to be the state of uh, professional. Sometimes I get to be the state of grandmother. Sometimes, like last night, I got to FaceTime with my little grandson, and I was definitely taking on the grandmother role. And sometimes I'm taking on the state of employee. Sometimes I'm taking on the state of employer. Sometimes I'm taking on the state of the billion-dollar business owner. I'm all those states, and I flip-flop between all those states constantly. And so to nail down who you are is an impossibility. To nail down who, I am a god, and to really truly understand that is an impossibility until you're in a certain state. And then you get to play with, oh, I am this. And you can feel the solidity of it. And you can feel, oh, this is who I am, until you change your mind, or you get distracted by something else, or your grandson calls you, and then you shift states immediately, easily, without trying. Okay. So this is just me rambling along a little bit about from that question. I love that question, by the way. So the person who sent it, thank you very much. The more you try and nail down who you are, the more you're going to realize it's an impossibility. You're an actor who is playing multiple infinite, oops, there's my alarm, infinite roles. Why is that alarm going off? Who knows? Do you see how I shifted right there? How easily it was to shift from a person who's talking about being a god to suddenly going, ooh, what's up with this alarm? I mean, when you try to shift states, when you sit there and you slow it down and you grab it and you try and analyze it and you try and explain it and talk about it, it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun, but it can also feel a little heavy, and it can feel like it comes with certain thoughts. And again, that's just a state. It's just an outfit you are putting on for a moment. It's just a character you are playing for a moment, but it's going to shift without you even trying. And that's the God behind all these games we play. Hence the reason I always say sandboxes. Hence the reason I always say, well, you can play in that sandbox if you want. But the bottom line of it all is, guys, you are bigger than it all. You are bigger than it. So this picture here is from my snowshoeing this last weekend. And of course, I got up onto this one lookout area, and, my views were just jaw dropping, just holy cow, wow, unbelievable. And the cool thing was, as I was just talking with a friend about getting up on a rise, at the top of the hill or something, and seeing snow-capped mountains, and understanding that nobody's feeling this but you. The feelings you're having right here, right now, that nobody can feel that but you. You can't describe it to anybody and have them feel exactly what you're feeling. So this was just you interacting with you. And at all times, this is who you are, whether you're feeling disgust, whether you're feeling anger, frustration, whether you're feeling awe and joy and inspired, or just unconditional love, or whatever. Nobody is receiving those feelings but you. And in all moments, you get to decide, and including the feeling of small, or the feeling of I'm a god, this is my reality, or whatever. It's really just this constant movement, expansion of you. And when I got up to this rise, and behind me was another beautiful snow-capped mountain. I mean, I was just surrounded by this beauty. It just really was in the moment, I would love to say that I was in a space of, oh my God, nobody's feeling this but me, blah, 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 all that. No, I was just like, wow. That's all I was feeling. I was feeling so much wow. I was feeling so much wow for the entire landscape around me being covered in snow. I was feeling awe from where I was, that I was up on this hilltop looking at that, because usually I can't get up onto that hilltop because it's covered with these horrible bushes that will rip you to shreds, but they're all covered in snow. Let's see if I can make it a little smaller. Yeah, so you can see down here at the bottom where my shoe prints are and everything, that's all those horrible boulders and bushes and everything are all underneath all that snow. And it was so cool to be walking on top of them and being able to see sights that I don't usually get to see. And in that moment, yeah, all I'm playing with is, wow, that was hard. That was hard to get up here. But number two, it was like, I did it. And oh my gosh, look at my reward for doing it. And I wasn't in any space of, oh, I'm God and this is my creation or anything like that. I wasn't in that state. I was in a different state. And it all was automatic. It was just, there was no, you know, premeditative thoughts or anything like that. It just was. And so what's the better space to be in? There again, stop or play there if you want, whatever. There is no better. There is just today's wow and today's delights, and then and it's all happening right here right now. And you get to have desires, and every desire is yet another chance to know another version of you, because each desire is not all desires, because plenty of desires you're going to give yourself, just like the desire to get up and go get in my car and drive down the street. I've done that 1,000 times. I'm going to give myself the memories, the understanding that I've done this 100 times, right? 1,000 times. But there are plenty of desires I have, such as flying to Amsterdam, that I've never done before. And I am so excited to do that. But see, the thing is that desire, having that desire, is a chance to get to know, to envision myself flying first class and envision myself being in Amsterdam, even if I can't even imagine it because I've never been there before, but I can sort of imagine it. See, every desire is a chance to get to know yourself on a bigger level, whether it's something you think you've done before or not. That's all it is. It's not about, can I do this? How am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Though you can play there, but this is an invitation for you to move into your desires from the space of, wow, that is going to be fun when I get to do that. That's going to be a blast when I get to do that. Even if there's no part of you that can understand how right now, you have the invitation at all times to go bigger than you've ever gone before. And that's just what we're talking about right here. That's just what we're talking about right now. And whether it comes from understanding that I am the God of this reality and nothing is bigger than me, or I'm just a lowly little ant being batted around by fate and I'm tinier than everything, and I'm going to get blown around by whatever wind arises. That's fine, because underneath all of that is a God that's even bigger than that, is the version of you, say your name, that is playing with the notion of a God. You see, this notion of a God couldn't arise without you. You gave birth to the notion of God, to the notion of creator, to the notion of manifestation. It all birthed from within you. And there are plenty of times when you're not thinking about those things that they don't exist. And it's only when you're playing with them and talking about them that they do exist. And you shift from states to states to states. And each state is a different reality, a different existence than the other one that you're not even thinking about right now. But that's going even bigger. And I just kind of wanted to show off this beautiful picture, share this with you guys, and to play in the deep, wonderful subjects that light me up, that are my go-to happy, happy, happy places. Love you guys. Take care.